Hello everybody, JaffaArchfiend here, and well, we're now on to the next part of Andens custom deliveries stuff here in Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Tiny Anden! Alrighty, so the reason I haven't made an extra bunch of anything at the moment, aside from these three here, is because usually when it gets to the last bit, it gets a bit funny. So I think it's the last bit here for us now. Let's see what we've got here. Yay, level 84 now, and let's swap out to my blacksmith so they can get some XP from this as well. When making the deliveries, you don't have to hand them in with the class you made them with. So if you got one of your Disciples of Hand classes at maximum, you can make all the stuff, bing bing bunch. You can just hand them in on your low level ones to get them the XP boost. As you can see, it gives a nice chunk of XP. I must say, recently it feels easier than ever to recall details from my former life. I'm all aflutter, and I don't just mean the breeze through my branches. What on earth? Is that one of the rewards from getting this? Okay. I have little doubt it's all thanks to you and these incredibly familiar supplies you've been bringing me. The desire to put my hands on them is overwhelming. Okay, let's see what we got. Show us your true form, Anden. Yes, I know those waves of inspiration well. Without a doubt, I passed many a happy evening absorbed in my crafting. I remember making and selling all sorts of things. Sheepskin rugs, for instance, and they fetch a good price too. Nothing warms a stone house better. You got a warm, fluffy rug in your house too, Anden. Ooh, it was so very, very soft and lovely for snoozing. Oh, I did, didn't I? I remember becoming so absorbed in the finer points of crafting and leatherwork that I once petitioned different sorts of skin from this Mistil hunter I knew. What was their name again? Wait, seriously? Yes, I had a feeling this was coming. Hey, at least he's getting used to the shenanigans now. You know me so well, Anden. But you don't have to restrain yourself. I do so love when you bluster and fluster and wiggle about in delightful confusion. Go on, go on. Yeah, be flustered on command. That's not... How am I supposed to... Oh, I'm doing it, aren't I? That reminds me, they say there's a fiery red mistle made entirely of crystal who is friends with our king. Any friend of the king must be friends with our sapling, right? Ah, you speak of Grahatia. I knew it. Urianje and the crystal mistel. What lovely friends you have. Friends? Do you suppose I had friends? I remember a particular group of people with whom I associated. Yes, they would help me with work sometimes, and... Ooh, that's right. Those people I'm remembering. They were travellers! A Galgant, 2 elves, a dwarf, and a mistel... There was one more, wasn't there? Who was it? A Hume? Oh, you remember the Warriors of Light from this world. Of course. Ardbert! Ah, you... Really? You knew Ardbert. Of course you knew Ardbert. Wait, what's that look for? Did you know Ardbert as well? Oh, quite well. What a coincidence. I suppose he did suppose he did traverse the realm on his various adventures, but he and his comrades spent a winter here once. They helped me with all sorts of little requests and errands. And at the end of a long day's work, we often broke bread together. Our first meeting was rather dramatic, though. I seemed to give them all quite a shock. After that initial awkwardness, we became fast friends. If ever they ventured nearby, they would always make a point to call. Wait, why were they so shocked by me? Something feels odd. Oh? We've got our... Now considers you a familiar friend-like face. Seems, however, he has a different sort of question to ask you. A new quest continuing the story of Andens' efforts. Every Anden of the Rainbow. You travel far and wide as Albert once did. Tell me, what sort of encounter would leave one so forthright at a loss for words? You know, tuck a shrub might do it. One with a person all too like myself. If you mean to ask about Albert, why not consult Seto instead? Seto? Where have I heard that name? Ah! Albert's Amaro, was it? Wait a moment. I recognize a certain irony in my ask it, but are you suggesting that this Amaro can speak? That's highly unusual, to say the least. I dare say I would be the one in shock if we were ever to meet. Rare occurrences, unexpected meetings. Oh, that's why none of Eotier's glamours felt quite right. Call the Fairy King. I think I've remembered who I am. Oh? Should be interesting. Alright. Let's go with this one. Thea Old, my most beautiful and beloved branch. I need you. I mean, let's keep the formalities going here to this one. Oh, to be called so passionately by my sweetest sapling, my spirit is all sawn. Of course, of course. Your branch has come to offer up the full extent of their power, just as they promised. Leafman, heed me well. If these magics are to fail, you will melt into the earth as naught but an amalgamation of soil and grime. Have you remembered your true form, marrow to soul? Yes, yes I have, I think. You better not think about it, mate, you better be certain. Very well then, let us see what you become. Okay, muds or person? Oh, good lord. Oh! He's a Vera! He's a bun bun! He's a bun boy! I'm a person! A real person! That explains why they were so shocked to see him. Because in all of Raktika Greatwood, we never saw any bun boys. So to see one of these guys doing sheep stuff here. Look, just look at me. I haven't got roots or leaves or anything anymore. I'm free! Ooh, Anden. True Anden. How I have missed you most of all, Andens. Makes sense, doesn't it? Men such as I are hardly a common sight even amongst our own people. I'm sure Albert never expected to meet one of us out here. It's all coming back to me now. I left the Greatwood to explore the outside world, came to Vobert, met my very first sheep, and the rest is history. Aww. I was truly happy as a shepherd, if it were not for the flood. Of course the flood. My village. Did it survive? I must go and see what became of it. You're leaving, Anden? But you've never left. Not even when those white beasties came to slurp you up and crunch your bones. Leafless man, understand. We Pixies are not wont to release the mortals we adore. As you yourself are once so favoured by the Fae, I grant you permission to remain in the Kingdom of Rainbows, if such is your wish, in your true and rightful form, of course. However, you are no longer bound to our land. You are free to travel the wide realm as does my brave sapling. Think carefully upon your decision, mortal, that you have no cause to regret it. Oh, I have so enjoyed this time with you, my adorable dearest sapling. Let us meet again soon. Yes, very soon. Cheers, Theo. Aww. Look so disheartened. Aww. I mean, dude, you're quite literally the oldest person in the world right now. You two. Foolish, foolish Alan. Oh, I can't let him leave. I shan't. Ah. Have you ever been to the Rectica Greatwood? I don't imagine you've had cause to visit the V settlements there. Yeah, I've been there. An ally of Ronka? And you've been to Fano? Well then. My village is far deeper in the woods, but Fano might well be a good place to start. Would you be willing to accompany that far? To be honest, I'm not sure I could explain myself with any credibility if questioned. Thank you. Your presence is more reassuring than you know. Oh. No! No, 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 no! How could you, Anden? After I tried so hard to keep you safe, after I told the others to give you leaves and roots so those awful monsters couldn't touch you, so you could live happily ever after with your precious sheep. Ah, right. This is where the Fae thing kicks in. You turned me into a leaf man to protect me? Yeah. All the leaf men you see in Ilmeg, along with some of like the giant bush tree things, were originally all people who, a good chunk of them, the Fae turned into plants to, you know, prevent them from being turned into sin-eater monsters. Some of them, however, they do just, you know, for the absolute giggles of making someone into a plant. But a good chunk of them were done to protect them. I think Eo's here and I need some time to speak alone. Go on ahead to Fana, would you? I'll meet you there. Are you sure? I'm not about to come back and find you as a bush again, am I? I'm just going to read that one. There's no need to fret, Eotir. I'm just going to visit, nothing more. Oh, I've heard that one before. They say Fano is filled with pretty V. Lady V. You're going to leave forever and forget all about me. I forbid it. You mustn't go. Ooh, Anden, please don't go. Alright. Do you know Lahi? Let's see if it kicks in. Okay, I think I know why it's not kicking in. It's because it's kind of nighttime-ish at the minute. Oh, we were also in a town at that part. Oh well. Let's see what we've got here. Hey! You managed to get out! There you are. I hope you weren't 18 overlong. It's been quite some time since I've navigated these woods, or had legs. You there! Halt! Easy, it's just us. It's just me. Oh, we've not met you before. You, an unidentified male, blundering graciously through the trees like a child. You're lucky the scout thought to call me before anyone else. Would you think we'd meet again, Giltet? Giltet? Ah, of course, Giltet, which makes you Talina? It just came back to me. Anden is an assumed name, you see. My birth name is Giltet, and this person who looks quite a lot like me is Talina, Giltet's younger sister. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance, ally of Ronka. Ah! The forest spoke to me of your departure, but after the flood, I had given up on ever seeing you again. And to willingly part with your name is one thing, to forget it entirely. What did the outside world do to you, brother? In his defense, he got turned into a plant by the Fae, so I don't know how to explain. Right, I should probably... Yeah, we fill her in on what happened. I think she can kind of forgive a bit of memory loss after, you know, having been, you know, a plant for the last 100 years. I hardly believe what I'm hearing, Giltet. While we were fleeing immitigable disaster, you were too captivated with your sheep to so much as seek safe shelter. Spared certain death only by the caprice of the Fae, you spent the intervening time as a leafman, blissfully unaware of your own existence. Immitigable disaster? So our village, it... Painful though it was, abandoning the village when we did spared many a fate worse than death. Many, but not all. Some fell to sin eaters, while others have since left the woods as you did. You may not find many who you recognize here, Geltat. You decide to return to the Great Wood even so, however, I would welcome you. I had best return to El Meg. Someone needs to look after the sheep. Oh, I also owe a great debt to someone there. The very same someone who transformed me, actually. I too assumed that it made me into a leafman on a whim, but that's not the case. It is all to ensure I would become something far worse. That even part of the true me might safely live on. To turn my back on them after that seems gauche, but I would never abandon my little sister either. Perhaps I can visit as my duties allow. Unfettered, yet honor-bound. Not even being changed into a bush could shake that from you, I see. Very well. Come to visit when you have the chance. I'm sure the other girls will be glad of it. That's a smirk of a sister. Good V-boys, or any V-boys for that matter, are in low supply these days, so I suggest you leave ere you find yourself sworn by suitors. Unless that sounds like better fun than your sheep. Oh yeah, this is a little sister, alright. Leg it! Your sage guidance is noted, sister. Truly, Tilina, I am glad to see you well. Let us speak again soon. And run! I had best return to the hunt, but you have my thanks. Oh. There it is! Do you know Lahi? Soaking. He came back. Andens came home. Oh, no, they're crying. Oh, no. I'm glad we got out of there without any fuss. A smirk at Selena's did not bode well for me. I can't believe our village is gone, but I'm grateful to have seen my sister again. I even remembered my birth name. Always liked it, but when I left the forest I thought taking a local name would strengthen my resolve. Thus, Andens the Shepherd was born. A good Vopertite sheepkeep with a good Vopertite name. And seeing as I am still a Vopertite sheepkeep, or close enough to one anyway, I think I'll stay Andens for the time being. Ooh, my thoughts are finally clear. Finally, I feel like my own self, true and whole. Thank you for helping me. I simply couldn't have done it without you. Oh, I'm so happy you came back, Andens. I was ready to throw you in a scary, sticky dream if you didn't. Just as I promised, I can't wait to get back to shepherding. And I have a debt or two to repay where you're concerned, Eotir. Silly Andens, you don't owe me anything at all. Don't you remember? You used to leave out little offerings of sheep's milk and sweeties all the time. Say that you remember. Oh, I did, didn't I? I had heard tales of pixies that lived in these parts, so I made a point to leave them little things I thought they might enjoy. Called a force of habit from my days attending woodland spirits. But you don't mean to say... I do, Andens. Long ago, this land was ruled by people. Those people never really believed we pixies were anything more than clever little stories. Why shouldn't they? We always kept ourselves snugly out of sight with glamours. But you believed in us. Kind, sweet, trusting Andens would always leave us treats and milk. Oh, I'd never known such happiness. So if anything, they were repaying the favour to you by keeping you safe and turning you into a leafman. Aww. So I watched over you always, Andens, even when it was hard to, even when you were in such peril, but refused to leave your flock. I couldn't watch you turn into one of those monsters. I had to do something to repay all your kind and generous gifts. That's why I turned you into a leafman, so you could stay safe and whole with the sheep you loved most. But if you wish to thank me with bushels and bushels of adorable little things, Anden, I shan't say no. I can't say no. Not to you, my true and lovely Anden. Aww. Ooh, that flattery of yours. But I can tell it would make you happy, and that makes me happy. So I'll prepare some milk and sweets for you again sometime. Ha ha ha! That's right, Anden, dearest Anden. Let's live happily and together forever and ever after and on. Ah, oh god, that's a thing, isn't it? He can legitimately live for centuries. Well, the king said I should think carefully, and I believe I reached a decision that suits me well. Better than ever, in fact. Mortals are fine, I suppose, but I feel freer amongst these fey folk. And now that I can hold things again, I can craft and trade for whatever my flock might need. The lurking leafman iterations of my former colleagues, not to mention myself, are still rather unnerving, though. Come to think of it, as long as I'm here, I might as well serve as sort of guide for any mortals who unwittingly stumble into Elmeg. It's been quite a while since I've had to consider such things, but what are people wearing these days? No, wait, it may be best if you show me. You find something that would make me look welcoming and approachable, I'd be most happy to try it. And that's the ultimate goal. That's one of the things you could do at the end of a custom delivery quest line, is you can, well, dress them up however you see fit. As we explored with Mama Emiliance. Future requests will be selected at random. Oh, EOT's got a thing for us. Ooh, sapling of the king. I have a fascinating delight to show you. But he seems to have wandered off somewhere. Could you look for him, please? And when you say him, I mean another Anden. You'll know him once you find him. You'll see. I have to go find another Anden. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The loitering lump of leaves looks strikingly like an Anden once knew. Perhaps this is what EOT is seeking. Doesn't seem quite... The leafman is trained to communicate, but unlike Anden, it seems incapable of speech. Ooh, you found him! Now I've prepared this sweet shrublet for a very special reason. Will you hear it? As long as I've known him, I have always longed to speak with Anden. Oh, how I hoped and pined. Then suddenly, my wish came true. Now here I am, spending day after day, talking and laughing and playing with you both. I don't think any pixie has ever known such fun. That is why I wish to repay your kindness with a little gift. Not a talking leafman, but a walking leafman. His name is Anden the Third. Anden the Third? What happened to Anden the Second? I borrowed some of original Anden's leaves after pruning him. Twist a branch here, nip a bud there, and there you have it. Ooh, isn't he adorable? Your very own personal Anden. Okay. I shan't refuse a gift of the Fae. Speaking of personal, I mustn't keep you long, lest the king think I'm trying to steal away their precious sapling. As though I would when I have Anden. Ooh, Anden. Anden the Third horn, which... When blown, this sheep's horn emits a muted and somewhat confused sound that brings Anden the Third rustling to your side. And a leafman head. Oh, God. Can it be dyed? It cannot be dyed. Oh boy. Where'd it go? There it is. And Third's horn. Mount. In gratitude for your kindness, let's go somewhere quieter. There we go. There we go, that's quieter. In gratitude for your kindness, the Pixie Eotier gifted you this peculiar ambulatory plant, which they created from the leaves of the original Anden after pruning him. While it resembles its namesake, it lacks the power of speech, and there's no telling what thoughts lie behind this permanently horrified expression. Kind-hearted as we pixies are, we decided to turn him into a lovely leafman, sheep-obsessed pixie. Alright. Summon forth Anden the Third. It has a mouth, but it cannot scream. Okay. So yeah, that was a person. So that's how it flies around, okay. This was either a tree or a person. This was either a tree or a person. That, I think, was a person. But yeah, those are regular trees. Anything that looks kind of fantastical was probably a person. I wonder who pushed up these daisies. I thought for a second that was the Leafman talking until I spotted the fairy. But yeah, so that is Andens' question. Oh, it just looks horrifying. I mean, just look at it. It's just horrifying. Well, JaffaArchfiend, out.